Welcome again to this PHP tutorial. This will be our fourth video for this tutorial. Okay, without wasting much time, we ended last week by creating the index of our page, and so we'll kick off by continuing our front end and creating the single post page for our blog. Okay, so let's put on our XAMPP immediately. We start the first two, the Apache and the MySQL. You minimize that and then open your browser. You type localhost slash the name of the folder PHP tutorial or localhost slash PHP tutorial slash index.php. Okay, so these are we stopped last week. So what we want to achieve now is when we click on this link, it should take us to a new web page. Okay, let's move on to the code immediately. So open your Sublime Text. Now we'll create a new file inside of the PHP tutorial and we'll call this file, let me increase it for those, I'll call this file single post.php. Control S, then you save. So I'm just going to ignore this right now. Okay, so what we want to, oh, it's too big, right? Let me reduce it. So what we want to achieve right now is when we click on this read more, it should redirect us or take us to a new page, a new web page, and this new web page will be called single post.php. Okay, so in this way, just Control A to copy everything and then Control C, and then on the single post you paste it. Awesome. So I'm just going to reduce this so you see a little bit what I'm doing. Okay, okay. So we are okay, we are good to go. Alright. So we are going to delete everything inside of this div content because we won't have the same contents in single page. Okay. So let's delete everything under. So let's grab everything there and delete it. Okay, we save that. Okay, now back to our index.php. On the read more here, on the read more, so we're going to link this to single post.php and I will check for the second one, single post.php, and the first one, single post.php. So just save your work and go back to your browser, Alt tab to navigate through your programs, and then refresh this page, Control R, or you simply come to the top here and refresh. So once we click on this, now it takes us to single post.php. You see the URL changed. So this takes us back to index. Okay, you click on this, you see that. So we'll be making use of this to link each post to this single post.php. So with PHP, we are going to write a code that takes in the exact blog post and then shows the descriptions and everything to the user. So let's kick off with this code. So go back to your Sublime. So on the single post.php, so what we need first is to start writing the descriptions and the title and every other thing. Okay, So let's have a div container fluid. Alright, and then h3. The h3 will have a class of margin top 3, and then what will be at the top will be blog news post. Now on beneath it we have another div with a class name of shadow. Alright, and also let's give it our user defined class blog underscore image, and then margin bottom 2. This is a bootstrap class which I explained in our last tutorial. So we're going to have our inline styling, and we'll give this a background image. So we'll give this a background image tutor. That's the name of my image .jpg, and also give this a height of 600 px, and then a background position of center, and also a background repeat so that our image will repeat itself in our web page, and then we have a background size which should be covered. Alright, so save this work and go back to your browser, and let's see how this looks like. Okay, now we have this is looking really good. My image is not showing. Oh, I don't have tutor image here, so I'll have to delete this and change it to design and direct. Alright, now my image is showing and it's perfect. Okay, so we have another div. We'll call this the row. Let's have another div. Call this co 10. Alright, now we have test justify h5. So I have a p tag inside of this. This will be the post description. This is our user defined class to be post description, and then this is where the description will come in. So just put lorem, hit tab, and it will generate. Okay, let's save our work and check again. Alright, really awesome. This will be the description. Okay, now before the description, let's have h4, and this will be php tutorial commences, and let's refresh. Okay, you see this will be our title. Let's make this h3. Okay, this is awesome. Okay, now let's move on with our web design. So after the p tag, let's have an hr tag. Now we have another div. I'll call this date time, then text primary. Okay, and now we have a span tag and an I tag for making your text be in an italic form. And then after this tag, we have this. Rather, let's put it inside of this place. And then we have the date, and it is 20622. Okay, save your work and then go back to your web browser, and then under, okay, I just have to get rid of this now. Okay, now we can see the date time there also. Here and give it a class of h6, and inside of this span will be our time. Okay, so save it and refresh your work. All right, you see the little time right there. Okay, and then back to our code. So just two div. After that, let's have another div and call this code. You can remember I explained a little bit about code in our last tutorial. It's a bootstrap class, and so instead of this we have class more underscore post. We have jumbotron, margin top 2, and shadow. So instead of this div we have h5 and then a class of text center. Text warning is a color of yellow, and mb5. All these are all bootstrap classes, so you can read up bootstrap documentation on bootstrap websites. So blog post. Okay, so save this work and go back. All right, you see we have something really beautiful at the right corner of our site. Okay, so let's continue. So after the h5, let's have a div. We'll call this per post, and then instead of the per post we have another div and we'll call this post, and instead of the post let's have an anchor tag, and this will lead us to single post.php. And instead of this anchor tag we'll have another div of float length. Okay, and still we have a user defined class. We call this post. Let's say post underscore image, and let's give this a border of white. So light means, and let's give it a border radius. So you will give that border radius with this rounded. So the rounded in bootstrap class is actually a border radius in CSS. Okay, so we have shadow. Now we have our inline styling here, which also be a background image. URL, so images slash design. Now you can use different images, but I'll just cleanly make use of one image. Okay, but you can use different images. .jpg, and then we have the background position should be center, and the background repeat. Okay, background repeat will be no repeat, and the background size will be covered. All right. So let's refresh our page and see what this will give us. Okay, so we have to style this in CSS so as to give this div a height. So we have to give this div a height so that our work can show. So before we do that, let's quickly create one more div and then move straight to our CSS. So we'll have a class also, we'll call this float right, and it will have another class of mt3 and mr3, and inside of this will be the topic of the post, okay, and this will also go to single post.php, and then inside of it we'll have h5 tag, and then I'll say word brain news, okay. If this is not going to be much, so refresh. Okay, we are seeing this word brain news here with our anchor link. Okay, let's move straight to our CSS and do some styling over there. So we'll start with this more post. We start with the more post CSS dot more underscore post, and this will be, we'll give it a height of, okay, let's go with 500 px, and then a padding top of 15 px. Think that can go. And let's also style the post image, and let's give it a width of 35% and a height of 60 px. And also let's have a background color of black. Alright, so back to our browser. Refresh. Okay. You are working with PHP, try to always clear your cache, okay? So Control F5 will clear your cache for you. Okay, so we have to reduce this word brain news right now. So go back to our single post, and then reduce it, and then add 3 dots there. Refresh. Alright, awesome. This is okay. So we are going to make use of PHP to cut the title of our news and then add the 3 dots in front. Okay. Alright, so let's move on with this code. So after the a tag, and then under this div here, we'll have, let's have a break, and then an hr. Okay, so this will shift everything under and give us this nice line there. So when you duplicate this post right now, the purpose, so Control Shift D to duplicate 3 times, and then you refresh, you see, very wonderful, awesome. So you see how this looks like. So with this now, we are done creating the single post.php. So in the next tutorial, we'll jump directly into PHP. I'm excited to bring this tutorial to you guys. Straight up to PHP, we'll be learning the variables in PHP, we'll be learning the print out function, and also loops, arrays, and many other things. Okay, so see you in the next video. All right, and if you didn't understand anything, please just go back, pause the video, get it right, and make sure you are at this page where I am. All right, stay safe, and if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, please subscribe.